So guys, I'm currently going to our laboratory today for the experiment. I'm going to my good mates. Hey Wes, what experiment are we gonna do today?
We're gonna do the pressure gauge calibration experiment.
Okay, let's go.
The objective of this experiment is to learn the basic operation of dead weight gauge tester for pressure gauge calibration and to calibrate all pressure gauge. And also, this experiment in pressure gauge use an ammetric dead weight tester and to ensure accurate pressure measurements. The tools and equipment we used in this experiment was ammetric gauge tester, Borden tube, pressure gauges, and adjustable wrench. For the steps and procedure, first is to ensure that the testing area is clean, dry, and well lit. Second is place the dead weight tester on a stable surface. Next is to verify that all necessary adapters and connectors are in place for the specific pressure gauge being calibrated. And lastly, check that the dead weight tester and pressure gauge are at room temperature. For calibration, carefully connect the pressure gauge to the dead weight tester. The pressure gauge we use is the 100 psi gauge, and that gradually apply pressure using the weights while closely monitoring the pressure gauge readings. For each weight added, record the applied pressure and the corresponding reading on the pressure gauge. Ensure the pressure stabilizes before recording the readings. For data gathering, we first ensured that all readings were at zero. On our first trial in calibration, we loaded a 0.5 pound weight which resulted to a 10 psi pressure. Loaded another 0.5 plate which equate to 1 pound and then calibrated at 25 psi pressure. Third trial, we loaded 1.5 pound of weights, which then calibrated to 36 psi. Then increase again the weight by 0.5 which becomes 2 pounds. It is calibrated for 46 psi pressure. On the fifth trial with load of 2.5 pound, it resulted to 57 psi. Next trial, we loaded it with 3 pounds of weight that resulted to a pressure of 66 psi. Second to the last trial, we loaded 3.5 pound that resulted to a pressure of 79 psi. And for the last trial, we loaded 4 pounds of weight which showed a pressure of 89 psi. As we finished gathering data upon loading, we then gathered data upon unloading which had the same weight difference in every trial. The data gathered during unloading is as follows. We started at 4 pounds which shows the same pressure of 89 psi. Then went to 3.5 pounds that shows 79 psi. Then went to 3 pounds that shows 68 psi. Then unloaded to 2.5 pounds that shows 58 psi. Then went to 2.5 pounds that shows 51 psi. To 1.5 pounds that shows 47 psi, and to 1 pound that shows 26 psi, and lastly went to 0.5 pounds that shows 13 psi. In conclusion, using the Ametec deadweight tester, we successfully calibrated the pressure gauge in this experiment, ensuring accurate and reliable pressure measurements. The calibration procedure entailed applying known pressures using calibrated weights and comparing the observed pressure gauge readings. We were able to establish a calibration curve by analyzing the collected data, which provided a clear relationship between applied pressure and gauge readings. The calibration results showed the pressure gauge performance characteristics such as linearity, hysteresis, and repeatability. These parameters are critical for determining the accuracy and dependability of the gauge in real-world applications. The calibration certificate generated at the conclusion of the experiment contains detailed documentation of the calibration procedure, equipment used, and calibration results. It validates the accuracy of the gauge and ensures traceability to national and international standards.